filmmakers. These are the people that are trying to tell our stories.
What's your favorite lesbian movie?
Found.
Yeah.
And we can argue this privately. Kissing Jessica Stein, I thought was a fantastic movie. I did. Jessica was not supposed to be a lesbian, so put that in your head and then think about it again. Kissing Jessica Stein, good movie.
Okay.
I'm just saying, people get really angry about that movie.
I really liked Debs.
Yeah.
I loved it. And honestly, I watched Debs. This is really weird. A friend brought it over. We popped it in. I had no idea it had lesbian content in it. I just thought it was this fun, stupid little movie. And as I watched it, I'm actually a licensed psychotherapist. I don't know if you know that.
Actually, I know, shocking, isn't it? Sorry.
But I saw a lot of metaphor in there for Freudian psychology, and I saw a lot of stuff that really just was like, whoa, this movie is cool. So I really liked that.
Have you seen Velvet or
Yes, I've seen both, and honestly, like I said before, I feel like you guys in many ways, you guys collectively, are farther ahead in many ways. I thought both of those, even Hexed, I love that show. Like, honestly, I did. I loved it. I was like, if we could have something like that, if we could, and they showed it, and it actually made a bit of a splash. I was like, you guys are a little farther ahead than we are. And what was that?
You obviously haven't seen Hollyoaks.
Oh, yeah.
The lesbian characters go crazy and kill each other.
Oh boy.
Well, that does happen.
Well, that happens. I mean, that's
Restraining orders, murder.
Have you actually seen the series? And when I say I've seen the series Skins, I mean the proper series. I don't mean the Americanized series.
No, I haven't.
You need to watch the British version.
Season 2.
Send it.
Only because the bit they edited out, and it made me laugh, considering that the L word, how much sexual content they'd shown on that. The bit they cut out was the bit where Emily and Naomi literally they took her top off and then she went away in the blanket the next morning. That's the bit took out from what I can gather from what I've seen on the night.
So is that considered like your L word?
Not really.
No.
Well, I think it's because it's teenage content.
Oh, it's teenagers.
It's teenage content, but compared to
It's hard to watch young ladies in their teenager
well,
twenties.
it shows quite one of the better words, a proper portrayal of a teenager sort of going from being straight by or into gay or come to terms how she is in a proper way, in a normal
Is there?
way.
Yeah, I don't know about. In the U.S. now with the younger generation, there's very much a resistance to labeling oneself. Like there's very much an attitude that we don't want to label. We're just whatever we are, and there's a much more permissive attitude about sexual. Is that how it is here as well? Is there like a resistance to labeling lesbian and gay and bi? Yes?
What about roles? We were talking about this in the car with Jan. Like in LA, it's very different than in San Francisco, which isn't that far away from one another. But in San Francisco, there seems to be a lot of different rules among the lesbians. There's butch and there's femme, and they have their guidelines of how things should go in their relationship and who does what and who's on top and who does. And in LA, it seems much different. People meet and they just get to know each other.
Like, say for example, if you were to look at us, how would you label us? No. If you don't know us, because we've talked about this before, if you just looked at us and you didn't know Jill and Cathy at all, how would you label us? And you know what's funny is...
All right.
No,
I'm much more of a girl on the inside than
on
Jill.
the inside, Cathy's much more of a girl than I am. Like, I am the boy. I'm definitely like, let's just quit talking and let's just figure this out and solve it. And Cathy's like, I'm going to talk about it until your head falls off.
God played the weirdest joke on me by giving me the prettiest boyfriend ever.
So do you guys have that here? Is that a thing? Oh, the Canadian is going to weigh in here.
I think I've noticed personally that in Canada and I think the United States, because we are not as accepting and we haven't been dealing with gay issues as long as Europe and England have, we have stronger roles because that's how we need to define ourselves still. Not so much in places like LA because it's a bit more worldly. But if you're somewhere very political like San Francisco or some of the very small towns like Vancouver, they definitely still have this butch kind of sort of idea. I think because England and Europe have been dealing for longer, it's kind of like everyone here is a little bit more evolved, and we don't have those labels for ourselves anymore in these kind of things.
Would you all agree with Canadian?
I agree that that's a sign of evolution. I do.
I think it is too.
I find kind of lesbian gender thing quite interesting, so I do take a bit more notice. And it really depends in England. I mean, you get some things like Liverpool, it's very, very defense scene. You know, they're all short skirts, they're white, so I suppose it isn't something to do, but
Don't make that assumption.
Emma, you're from Liverpool, aren't you? And I saw you're talking, and I took a glance over at Emma, and I saw her doing this. You guys, she was doing this.
Keep going, keep going.
I mean, that's kind of what I've had this book back from friends who live there in Liverpool, but it really does depend where you are. I mean, I grew up in a place called Stoke-on-Trent. Exactly. Now, I was privileged about 3 friends in the entirety of that. It was me and a couple of my friends, and that's it.
To be honest, the whole of the UK is just full of butch people, like butch lesbians. There's not really any lesbians in the whole of the UK.
Yeah, it really depends where you go. I mean, it's kind of very butch. So, in terms of labeling, I don't think that there's not a lot of acceptance in terms of labels. People are, and they don't necessarily accept the labels. But
I have a question for you. Don't you think it's possible that there are many more femmes than you realize? You just don't recognize them as lesbians?
Yeah.
Is that possible? Are they the women not going to the clubs? Is this where you're talking about that you go to the clubs and you see mostly butch women around you? And are That's kind of what I tend to believe is that there's always a huge mix of all of the different styles of lesbian, and you just don't recognize the ones that are not overtly butch.
You guys really look seriously like a cross section of LA. Like
really
you guys do. I mean, this is what LA. We have the same sort of, collection.
Ah, jeez.